So this is Jeremy with Dreadnaught. Got the homies Ken and Hector with us. So first off, we were talking about cell phones, and I guess there's a Supreme Court ruling the other day that I'm unaware of.
Yeah, just recently, Supreme Court ruled that cops can't search your phone without a search warrant, which, like Ken was saying earlier, that's always been the law, but people just don't have common sense to realize that that was what's going on. But there was two cases, one in Boston and one in California, both involving through the cell phone. They looked through their cell phone and found pictures of them with gang affiliates or drug affiliate, and they found the drug dealer, and they busted the drug dealer and sentenced the drug dealer to like 20 years. Well, now with this being turned around, the drug dealer could possibly get off because of that.
I was going to ask that earlier. So if the law's been turned around, does that mean you go back through?
You have to review. They're saying that
everybody.
That's what they said. They're going to review the cases.
But that's
every
a lot
single one of them.
That's what I'm saying. That's
like there's a lot of arrests and stuff that are shooting.
Last show we did. That's what I was asking about. Denver, about Colorado. Colorado legalizing weed. All the other states legalizing weed. Does that mean you go back through?
I think on those, it's probably they start the president from there.
So like if you got caught like a week before that, you're just SOL.
Yeah.
That sucked.
Sometimes they do that.
You would think you'd have to at least reduce the sentence or something, though.
Sentences might be reduced. Yeah, you could probably appeal your case and then, with the laws nowadays, and then say, okay, well, you still broke the law because you were drug dealing or something, right?
Yeah.
But because you had this much, the penalty is now misdemeanor instead of a felony.
That's what I meant, because
sorry, we locked you up for 5 years.
What's that old video? what's that old video?
Reefer Madness?
Reefer Madness. And it kind of gives you the information up there, Woody Harrelson, and it says like 30s and 40s. I think it was up to the 50s. People getting 100-year sentences for weed. So I was always curious, like when it got a little bit less illegal, did their sentences ever go back, or was the cat still in jail?
Right.
He died in jail.
He died in jail.
But okay, back to the court case. I think personally, man, like you said, we had this conversation before off camera, but the law already says they can't go to your glove compartment, they can't go to your trunk, it's allowed, all the rest of this. Your phone is not even a question. Technically, they're not supposed to go into your purse unless they think something's going on. That's like searching your wallet and all the rest of it.
But does this mean, like, can the cops still purchase information from phone companies? Does that affect that in any way?
I'm not aware.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
I bet they probably still, because they can, like, I believe, well, I'm not 100% sure, so allegedly AT&T was a company that sells your information to phone companies.
If you look through, this is something we should do one day. That big packet that no one reads, but we all agree to.
The terms and contracts or whatever.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure there's a line
in there. Says we give it off to third parties.
Well, yeah, it's probably.
I'm almost 100% sure.
Well, you're using their servers or their network, so I mean, it's not really your.
Well, it's like the cops here in this town. They have it to where, like, if you know your neighbor's doing something suspicious, you can call this hotline and it sends you. It's Texas. And you say, hey,
I've heard of it,
my next door neighbor is doing this, and then the Texas sends it to Rogers, and Rogers cops come knock on your door.
I've heard of that company.
Define suspicious.
Well,
I've seen my neighbors 2 times in 3 years.
Suspicious. Call them.
Like literally, think about it.
Home?
No, it's like 8 of them.
Damn.
Yeah, but nah, I mean, to me, it I don't know, dude. I'm so like confused about law at this point. Because to me, anything written down, it's not that hard to interpret.
That's the crazy thing.
Well, that's why you wrote it down.
It's open to interpretation.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, it's not. It's illegal to do blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a rule. You don't interpret a rule. It's written out.
Yeah, but the way the law is designed, though, is like, for example, you can't kill anybody, right?
Yeah.
But then they have the husband killed the wife because it was emotional distress. So yeah, you can't kill him, but we're going to charge you with this crime.
But see, that's
emotional distress.
But see, that's the problem.
So that's why they have to interpret that law.
But that's what I'm saying. I get why they interpret it. I'm saying interpretation of the law is backwards. Like the guy who raped his kids. Interpretation of the law says he goes. I mean, just the law says he goes to jail. No questions, no nothing. But then his interpretation, because of money, he did what, 6 months, and he has to go to counseling. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's more an interpretation based on economic status than on fairness.
That's how it's always gonna be. The
way Lindsay Lohan, dude.
Exactly. Hey,
that chick should.
I wouldn't even call that shit. Exactly.
That chick should be locked up for life.
She's naked running through a department store just recently.
Oh snap! I missed it.
Naked, dude, running around, and they were trying to get her out of the department store.
Chris Brown
she likes to party.
Chris Brown fucked her what, 3 times?
Yeah, beat Rihanna publicly, right? Showed up pictures of her.
He's still in the public eye too. That's
why. And why
he's in jail?
Why are like child molesters? They go to jail and get out, like, and then someone who smoked weed gets locked up.
I was gonna say
that doesn't seem like it makes.
Wake up, America!
I was telling you the show about it, dude, but I was watching news, the local news one day, and it blew my fucking mind. Dude, there was no blackout, there was no nothing. Dude was just on TV doing a normal interview, and I was like, oh, well, he must be related to the kid that got molested. No, he was the fucking molested.
Right?
Just sitting there having a conversation about the laws being too harsh on him.
Yeah.
He did 2 years for raping a 7-year-old. I'm like, and he was complaining about having to have a sign in his yard and this and this and this. And I'm like, looking at the TV like, what the fuck are we even talking about? Fuck him.
Yeah.
He should have to do a year for fucking every time he thought about touching a kid. Around motherfuckers that got kids. So they can whoop his ass all day.
That would be crazy if they got really creative with their punishments in the law system. Like if they did kind of make the punishment fit the crime.
Hammurabi's code.
Yeah.
An eye for an eye.
Like for instance, if Timothy McVeigh, if they would just put him in a room with a bomb, some point we're gonna give you a max. We're gonna give you a max of 3 days, but it could go off sooner. But at some point, this bomb's gonna explode.
I thought you were gonna say something creative, like just random control burst around him, so blow up, fuck his arm up, fuck up this arm,
put up
over a year sign, let it heal up and start this shit again. But again, the problem with all that is economics. The problem with that is
costs money to do that.
No. Well, that's you. But the guys that just got off for rape, they're getting $40 million because they wound up having to do. I think they get 20-some years for rape. Found out they didn't do it. Now they're getting $40 million because in New York or New Jersey.
Yeah, I saw that article.
Now, and I'm a big believer on it, if you know the motherfucker did it and you actually did the investigation right, fine. That does not happen a lot. So then you go into a case of apparently Donald Trump is mad about it because at the time he wanted the people to be executed and this and this and this and this. Now, what if they had been executed? What if all this bad stuff had happened to them? And then 20 years later, he found out they didn't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you handle the investigation right from day one, that's where a lot of laws, everything in life has, if you start things off at the root right, it'll go right. Most things that go wrong started out wrong way back when.
Yeah.
The cops interrogated.
Look, and there were signs.
The cops interrogated 4 15-year-old kids for 8 hours without their lawyer or their parents, and got a confession.
Like that Arkansas 3, have you guys heard about them? They've been locked up for a long time for something that they supposedly didn't do, and they got all these celebrities backing them, and they still haven't got out yet.
A lot of people do it.
They were charged, but with killing some kid and leaving him in a river or something.
That's Memphis. I think you're talking about.
No.
What happened?
Well, it's Memphis, Arkansas, I think. It's Memphis, Arkansas.
West Memphis. West Memphis,
yeah. But it's in Arkansas. But yeah, they've been locked up for a long time, even though there's proof now that they didn't do it, but they're still in jail. They got life sentences. And the guy that they got to confess was mentally challenged, and this was after 8 hours of interrogation.
Well, see, my big thing with it is fairness. Just do things right the first time. We were talking about the gun laws and everything earlier. Same thing. It's not hard to be like, hey, can you tie your shoes? No. You're not getting a gun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't that hard. Can you spell your name?
No. Aptitude test.
It's 2 letters. J.R. You can't spell that? No. You don't get a gun. You can pass all our little tests and possibly a psychiatric evaluation. Buy whatever the hell you want.
Well, see, That is one thing too. Like a lot of people don't want the government like getting in on your privacy, but there would be benefits, stuff like that. Like, and I think it's going to be inevitable, or we're all eventually going to be able to.
That's kind of why I sidetracked off.
Like, well, say you have some little device or Google Glasses, and say you come up to me, facial recognition, it brings up your profile. So if I just pass you on the street, I have access to your profile, like websites you visit, your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter. No, but think of how that's possible now today. That's possible.
I don't like that. I don't like that. That's kind of creepy. Actually.
That's gonna. It's inevitable though, dude. Like we're merging with technology. We're at a point right now where I think the next big thing in human development, as far as like society or even social, the way we interact in our society, in our lifetime, I think we'll see it. But something that we just like integrates us. I don't know.
It's already there.
See, I don't know, dude. It's like I understand to a point the need for information about people, but again, it's kind of a fear factor too, because it's that thing of making you more in your own shell. You don't have to go out and meet people. Hell, I can research you.
Well, no, see, that's the thing. Exactly, you can.
That's wrong.
And that's fucked up. That you're not gonna build a good personality like that.
At all. Your social skills are gonna get, because we text now more than ever. We don't interact.
You're more easily controllable that way. Also, if I can make you afraid of something, I control it.
Well, that's the thing. 7% of all communication is what you're saying, the words that are coming out. So we practice that part the most through our exchange. Like the other 93%, our future generations are going to get worse and worse at, because we're not doing it as much. We're doing it just by our that 7%. Well, which gets very confusing. A lot of the meaning gets lost.
But this is what I was sidetracking on earlier. The story about the sagging. They're making laws.
Yeah, this is nuts, dude. This is
making
fucking
laws
nuts.
against sagging. In certain places, you can get penalized.
But people already got arrested, right?
A couple of dudes already got arrested. One dude got kicked off a plane and arrested. Yeah.
How are these laws not like racial, like to keep?
Not just the racial aspect of it. How can you complain and bitch about the government being too much in your business, but then apply a law that tells people basically you have a universal dress code?
We all need to get like uniforms, like American uniforms.
Because, as I said before,
school, how you get uniforms.
For that.
As I said before, I can understand all the people saying they don't want to see nobody's ass or they don't want to see their boxes. I'm all behind that. Personally, and I've said it before, I stand on record for saying it. I'm tired of seeing grown men nuts. Quit wearing them tight
sometimes I sag whenever I lose my belt, dude, just because some of my pants are too big.
Dude, most people sag because of two reasons. And I think all three of us can fit this. Most people sag because of 2 or 3 reasons. Growing up, you either had pants that were too fucking big or too fucking small.
Yeah.
You really didn't have a choice in the fucking matter.
My brother got some of my pants.
You got hand-me-downs, they got hand-me-downs, somebody got hand-me-downs. Or somebody in your family gave your mother, da-da-da-da-da. And you rocked it. Yeah. You wound up making it cool. You wound up making it you. That's all that shit is. I don't even understand that whole it's prison and gay. And I ain't never been to prison. I don't know. I don't plan on finding out.
So we'll see, back to what we were talking about earlier with all that information, Google almost already does that. Like all the stuff like that's made you who you are, like you reflect those interests on how you use the internet. And like Google, for instance, will make ads specifically catered towards you. Google could easily, like, Google has that access right now. We can easily give it to everybody.
Right.
And you could basically know a person before you met them. You see them in your Google Glasses. Eventually, dude, I wouldn't be surprised if you plug that shit in somewhere. Like, they make something where it's going to interact, because it's all electricity in your brain as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to happen, dude. It's going to happen.
I'm being an example of what we're talking about.
Exactly. See? You have one. You have it.
Shut up. Anyway.
Well, no, even like Michio Kaku, he talks about, there's this Russian scientist that came up with this thing that's like the 3 levels of civilization. I think you've heard of it before. Anyway, the first one is you have like you have control over everything on your planet. The whole planetary system, you can harness all the energy from that planet. That's a level 1 civilization. Level 2 is you can harness all the energy in that solar system. Level 3 is all the energy in that galaxy. We're at a level 0. And the hardest transition, they believe, from the theory, is moving from a 0 to a 1. But Michio Kaku, the partial inventor of string theory. Like, he's a smart dude, probably one of the smartest dude. He's a Harvard professor. He believes that the internet is a stage 1 communication system.
It is.
Exactly. Like,
the internet used the way it's supposed to be is the greatest tool ever. That's why it was given to us free. Other people made it cost money.
yeah.
The guy who invented the internet just gave it.
Well, see, that's the thing. They're finding ways by ads how they can let us use it for free, but they're actually trying to pass laws right now where they're going to charge you by how much data you use. They're wanting to do that. Like high traffic websites, if you visit a high traffic website, it's going to cost, your internet bill is going to cost.
Whenever you have people that are creative and inventing, you're going to have greedy, lazy motherfuckers trying to profit.
They're exactly
People trying to
profit from
patent
that.
water. There was a bill like
Wouldn't
a year
surprise
ago
me.
trying to like privatize water. So you wouldn't go to the water company anymore. You'd have to go to companies to get your water.
Well, yeah, well, what was that company in California that was routing some, or maybe it was Nevada or something, but they were routing one of the two's electricity away and selling it to another city because they could make more off it. So that town had to go like on power outages and stuff at times because some of their electricity was being sold to another town. I think the company got in trouble, but stuff like that going on, that's nuts. And in all actuality, we could, see, that's the craziness. If we were actually, like if we had the peak of technology available to us, like how much better would society be? Because we can generate large amounts of electricity from small, through Tesla's technology. Like we could have free like energy.
You just hit it on. Even using Tesla is a perfect example. It doesn't matter how good the technology is.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how smart the person is. At the end of the day, it matters how greedy the people in charge are. Because they're the ones that are going to stop. The reason why we know Einstein and we don't know Tesla is because Einstein's shit made more money. It was a worse product. I mean, don't get it twisted. But it was an inferior product, but it was replaceable. And the more you got to replace, the more money.
Well, all those guys got Tesla kind of screwed over. Like Edison screwed him over in his early days. Then J.P. Morgan, the banker, screwed him over. Yeah, BP.
Because we could all grow it. We could all produce it.
It's easy to grow. It's one of the most.
They can't tax it, even though they're trying in some states. If you can't, I mean, think about it, dude.
Anybody can grow it. It's the easiest thing in the world to grow.
Mm-hmm.
It's medicine.
And it's so useful.
It's clothing. It's everything.
Fuel.
But you can't enslave people to make them grow it. You can't force people or
you can't give away free electricity.
You can't corner the market and tell people they're going to have so much at a time. There's so many things you can't do with it. That's why they don't like it. That's why certain towns have laws now where you can't grow your own animals and food.
What we're referring to now, that the people that have control over that kind of stuff, do you think that kind of is what's holding us back from becoming a stage 1 society?
Yes.
Like, that's really the only thing stopping us, because we have the technology here today to do this.
Even in schools, think about this. And you know, like, I'm a very eclectic person when it comes to like education and everything.
Yeah.
So I've taken business classes and I've taken very, very
it's good to dip into every single thing just to.
Rapid Road, the school Rapid Road, has a $3 million business department built onto the back.
Mm-hmm.
That's still generating money and grants and things. Free money. The science department, which consists of, say, 40 people with multiple degrees, get $500 a semester for materials to teach you science. That's from anthropology, archaeology, whatever. Now you tell me how that makes sense.
It doesn't. They're trying to dumb you down.
Exactly.
Dumb the people down.
Yeah, you can get on YouTube and watch Harvard and Yale fucking classes for free.
Yep.
You know how fucking nuts that is?
But that's the new thing. It went from hiding the materials from you to being like, I don't know how to get it.
You know what?
It's like a perfect.
You could have the smartest person ever that watches all the YouTube videos in the world, and they could literally be the smartest person there is in the world. But if they don't have those certifications and all those papers and documents, doesn't mean shit.
But that's what we get to. It's I don't know how they did it, because anything could be done with the proper amount of research and behind it. But it went from completely hiding information from people, completely like blocking them out of learning shit, to being like, here you go. But they waited just enough time that people won't look anymore.
So
nobody thinks about looking at the law until they get in trouble.
Maybe it's not the powers that be that have stopped us from being a stage 1 civilization. Maybe it's us. Because we have the knowledge, right? Yeah.
It's a combination of two, whether we want to admit it or not. And the 3 people in this room consider ourselves to be fairly intelligent individuals. We are still products of our environment. We're still stifled by the same things everybody. Now we might get annoyed quicker than the average person, but I really pause on being so cocky that I think I'm above certain things. I'm a victim of the same thing everybody is. I could very easily have been a gangbanger or anything else or da 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 da. For whatever reason, I'm not. You could have very easily have been happy and content to.
No, but that's what I want to know. That's what I want to study. Like, what's the factor that made you not?
That's why I'm
and want to better yourself.
That's why I'm.
You know, like what? Because like you said, you could have easily went down that path. But what factor was it that caused you not to? Anyway, here at Dreadnaught, the one thing we promote the most is educate yourself.
And actually care about other people.
Yeah. Need some more love. With that,
I wouldn't go hippie with it.
There's enough room for hippie in there. But with that, we're gonna cut this episode. Back at you with another.